Hello everyone, good evening, welcome to Talking Reds, where we bring you the latest Liverpool news and transfer news and much more. Good evening everyone in the chat. If you have just joined us, make sure you do smash that like button on the way in, and if you do go on the way out, make sure you do hit the like button before you do go on the way out. Everyone that's joined as well, let me know in the comments what you want to say about tonight's transfer news, and I'll get it up on the screen. I'll say hit subscribe button as well if you are new for all your latest Liverpool news and much more if you love Liverpool content and football content in general. So tonight's stream, we're going to be talking about, I said, Alexander Isak. I'm hoping Jonathan comes on to speak about that as well. I'm sure he will do at some point. A little bit on RV Elliott, Marc Guehi's future as well, because there's a report coming out today that we're closing in on the signing of Marc Guehi from Crystal Palace. Darwin Nunez and is still ongoing with Napoli, and some good news in terms of Andy Robertson potentially staying, Naj. But yeah, on the day of, though we did sign MIlos Kerkez earlier on, myself, Naj and Waj did a stream earlier, officially telling us that MIlos Kerkez is a Liverpool player. Fantastic news. It's finally happened. So let's talk about whatever else has been going on then, Naj. How's your day been? I know I spoke to you earlier, but how's it gone since?
All right, yeah, sound.
It's certainly an exciting time to be a Liverpool fan. It really is. But the only really worry that we've got right now in terms of the going future is Ibrahima Konate. I think that keeps going other reports coming out about Konate potentially wanting to go. Let's start with the main man then himself. Let's start with Marc Guehi. Let's start with Marc Guehi first. We'll talk about Alexander Isak a little bit more as the stream goes on, because I know a lot of people want to get in the chat and get involved in the chat. And when Alexander Isak's spoken about, I'm sure the chat will go absolutely off. So, Dave O'Cop, according to Dave O'Cop, that Liverpool are closing in on a deal for Marc Guehi from Crystal Palace. With the Konate news of potentially going, Naj, how important it is to get Marc Guehi, and even more so the fact that if the more reports coming out about Konate potentially going, and the stronger the reports are coming out, Guehi is much more likely to happen this summer, isn't it?
I think it's more likely to happen regardless. I think, I think like we spoke about in the past, though, I think Konate doesn't have that sort of, like, he's been extremely good this season, Konate, but he doesn't have competition, and competition's healthy in the Liverpool squad. It shows, like we said the other day, bar a couple of players, your Alisson, your Van Dijk, your Salah, probably McAllister probably falls into that category as well, I would say. They don't really need the competition because they're too good for what they do. But yeah, definitely for Konate, he needs that competition. I mean, like, he's been part of the side before by Kwanzaa, but obviously he's not favoured under Slot, so he went. How many times am I going to say Klopp over Slot? It's so similar. I just do it all the time. It actually winds me up. But I think, Guehi, for me, brilliant signing. I think outside the top six, I mean, he's better than every single United centre-back. I don't even know what I'm talking about. He's probably better than most Spurs centre-backs. I like Romero, but I think he's a bit rash. I think probably Guehi's better than him overall game. City's probably better than most of their centre-backs.
Would you say it's fair to say that is top 10 in the league, centre-backs?
Yeah, I would say definitely, yeah. Dean Huijsen was good last year for obviously Bournemouth, but that's one season. You can't really base it off that. Whereas Guehi's had three very good years, really, hasn't he? To be honest, for Crystal Palace, and he's the captain, and he's 24. I think it goes a long way. That I mean, Newcastle have been trying to sign him. Chelsea wanted to bring him back. I mean, like signing for Chelsea doesn't really mean anything anymore. I mean, I think they've tried to sign me the other day, but he's just a quality centre-back, and I think having that someone with that potential to push Konate, even possibly take over Konate in terms of the style of play, because Konate is not amazing on the ball, is he? Really, compared to Guehi, I would say.
No. That's why I said the other day about his attributes. He's got attributes, I think, that could cover DM if needs be, like last resort, because he's so good on the ball.
Yeah, he's brilliant on the ball. He's got a good passing range as well. I think Konate's got very much improved on the ball. When he first came in, he's very sort of rash with his passing and stuff like that. But he's miles better than he was. But I think Guehi just offers like something a little bit different, doesn't he? In terms of very controlled. Slot likes his very controlled manner of playing, and the thing with Guehi as well, he's extremely level-headed, isn't he? Like he's one of them centre backs don't come around often that just don't really get stuck in. They get stuck in. He's aggressive, but very smart in while they play. I think.
Yeah. He's much more like what Virgil is, but not no little level of Virgil, but he's much more like similar mind to a Virgil.
Yeah, he's cool, calm, and collected. That's what he is.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And
so 1 second, something has actually just come out about Luis Diaz. So we are going to talk about Luis Diaz as well. But yeah, Marc Guehi for me would be an ideal signing, and I think with the Konate situation, also I'm going to read out the Konate news that came out today, according to Santi Auna, who's is a journalist. He does get things right. I won't say he's utterly reliable, but according to him, that Konate wants to go basically and go at the end of his contract, which is next summer. Real Madrid, Barcelona, and PSG amongst the interested clubs. If we are to lose at Ibrahima Konate, then I think a Marc Guehi and another centre back are a must for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe that journalist. By the way, I'm not very keen on him.
No, that's what I'm saying. I take it with a pinch of salt. He does get a couple of things right, but he's not utterly reliable.
I think the whole thing with Konate is like, obviously he's come out and said that what was first said about his contract was just a load of crap.
Yeah, social media.
I mean, he deserves to be paid more, but he's one of the first names of their team sheet without a shadow of a doubt. Like he's on. I mean, we just got rid of Nat Phillips. He was on less than Nat Phillips. Nat Phillips hasn't played a game for Liverpool in about 4 or 5 years. You know, it's a long time. So I think with that sort of book balancing sort of, you know, you don't have to pay his wage anymore in terms of Nat Phillips. I think it's very obtainable that Konate does go on the contract that he wants, double his money. You know, he goes on to 140, whatever it is, 120, 140. I reckon it'd be around that ballpark. Not 200. I don't think he's asking for 200. I'll be honest with you. I think that's a lot of rubbish. Because
he's already rubbished the claims of that, hasn't he, really?
Yeah. I mean, the top earners at Liverpool, we all know that Salah and Van Dijk are on, you know, 350 plus, which is fair enough. For a long time, they've given the club the best years, and they're still giving the club the best years. Konate's not in that best years yet. He's 25. He's not hit that yet. You know what I mean? He's not come into that, you know, that wage structure yet. When Salah first signed, we signed Salah when he was 25. He was nowhere near that wage when he first come into the club. So I think he was 100. I think he was 100 grand a week salary when he first come. I think something like that. 100 grand a week. I think he was on around that, because I remember he wasn't on that much at Roma compared to like the big players at Roma. So yeah, he obviously went on to more money. So I think it's the whole Konate scenario is it's interesting. But I'll ask, what do you think I think we'll keep him to go. What do you think the whole contract scenario? Do you think that's just got to be one of these and it'll be done?
Yeah, it's a really awkward situation. We don't need to be, and we don't really want it right now. It's like just when we think, you know, we've got the Salah contract sorted, we've got the Van Dijk contracts. I'm just annoyed that all these contracts are in these situations. They should have been sorted out a while ago. Even Konate should have been looked at last season. Yeah. But obviously the club went in a different direction with different sporting directors, and it's just put us all in the backward step a little bit. But with Konate, I've seen a mixed opinion on him online, especially like people saying, "Well, why would you sell him? Why would you sell him?" But we can't let players run the contracts down to the last year and get them for free. You either got to sell him, get some money back from him, and then use that money then to go get someone better, or you sign them on. We can't keep letting players go for free constantly. It's not a good way to run a business.
Not with the rate, not with his age. Like, you know, like I think I put in the group chat before, didn't I? Like I said, Konate's worth easily 60, 70 million. Easily. Like, if you're telling me that the signing Dean Howson, who's had one good season at Bournemouth for 50 odd million, was it 55 million?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
How much is Konate worth? He's just won.
And what that would allow us to do is get a decent centre back, as
Yeah.
well as Guehi. Obviously, get Guehi, but I think we need another decent centre back, one that could possibly take over Van Dijk at some point.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the thing with Konate, right? I think he knows, and I'm just surmising with this, but I think he does know he's going to be the main man in a few years, and I think that when he is the main man, he'll get that contract. He'll get the one that bumps him up to 200 grand a week, probably something like that. But he needs to show me. He needs to show us he can be that main man in a way as well. He's not far off it. I tell you that he's not far off it. But he's never going to be as good as Van Dijk. We know that. But
he does need to improve his injury record.
Somehow. Yeah, he needs to improve that. He's always had that though. Even though we got him from Leipzig, like he's always had like a very poor injury record. Like, I mean, he's out this season. I mean, to be fair to him, this season, I think he'd have played nearly every single game if it hadn't been for that little B&M Pele, Hendrick kicking him in the shins. Obviously, that was why he was injured, wasn't he? Because it was because of that.
Yeah.
You know, I think this season in general, he's kept himself very fit. I think he looked a lot better when he come back from his injury last season. Like I'm talking when Kwanzaa was playing. He worked on himself a lot. I seen it with him. You seen it when he come in. You know, he was dropped for the first game and then he come in.
Yeah.
You could see he'd gone quicker and he worked on his his ball passing. His passing this season was brilliant. Actually, he played so many good balls over the top, and that's something we've not really seen from Konate in the past. It's always been Van Dijk playing that diag and stuff. We've seen a lot of that from Konate and the classic Joel Matip runs. I think he's getting there. I mean, he's still young. At 25 is nothing, is it? Like really in football nowadays. So if he can keep himself fit, yeah, he's going to be the main man. But right now, I wouldn't offer him. If it was 200 grand a week, I wouldn't give it him, and I'd sell him. To be honest, I wouldn't be giving it him because I don't think he's worth that yet in terms of what he's showing us. Like he's had 3 seasons at Liverpool now, going into his 4th. I'd say for 1.5 of them seasons, he's been very good. The others, he's either been injured, the other 1.5 injured, or not being up to scratch. So, you know, there's room for improvement. But yeah,
we've said before, haven't we? Like 170 grand is probably enough. But 200 grand, if that is what has been asked, obviously Konate shush that down himself. Really, so I don't know if he's going to ask for that, whether that's just coming out from the club not to pay him. I just think we've got to do as much as we can to keep him. But if we can't keep him and he's going to run his contract to next summer, then we have to somehow get some money for him.
We've got to sell him without a doubt. If we can't get, if he doesn't want to sign, there's got to be an ultimatum with him, hasn't there? Really, there's got to be an ultimatum, and that's basically what we've got to do, and it's got to be done. You know, we can't because of his age, 26 next year, I believe, maybe end of this year, but we can't let someone 26 again, the same age.
Yeah.
Can't let someone go who's such a key part of the team, and so like he goes to Real Madrid, he is Real Madrid's starting centre back every single day of the week.
Yeah.
And we've got to sell him. Like I wouldn't sell to Real Madrid, to be honest. They won't buy him anyway because they're just.
No, that's what I'm saying. They're probably waiting for him for free. That's what they're probably waiting for. But we can't let that happen again. And it's not just about the money either. It's just not just about recouping money for him. It's the principle of a player going for free again. It's the principle of like player power, letting players do whatever. And I don't think Konate is asking for too much. I don't think, and I don't think he's the kind of person to do that. No. All I hope is he signs on, and we get Marc Guehi as well. That's the dream, really, regarding that.
I think he's brilliant. I honestly, he's one of my favourite players. I think he's brilliant. I think he's great, and I think he's getting, like I say, like he's becoming the player we all knew he was going to be now. Like that last season he was better than Van Dijk for quite a lot last season, and people forget that. But like,
first 2-3 months he was one of our best players.
He was super, but he's at the point now where it's like if he stays at Liverpool, he'll be staying till he's 30 odd. Like that's just the contract now will be like, take you through to 28, 29 or whatever, and then you go on to your big bumper contract when you're in your prime. Because like I say, centre backs prime's like 28 to like 33 is, I'd say, probably have a bit of a later prime, don't they? Centre backs. So I don't know. I keep him if we had the option, and we do have the option. Keep him, get the contract sorted. If he doesn't want to sign it, which I don't think he does because he's very grounded. I think he comes across that way. then we've got to sell him. PSG, come buy him. That's what I'll be like. Come buy him.
Yeah, and with Marc Guehi coming in, hopefully Marc Guehi coming in, it would be perfect competition for Konate for the season, certainly. And for me, I think Marc Guehi can play probably on left as well, if I'm honest. So in case Van Dijk needs a rest, Marc Guehi and Konate is a good centre-back player anyway. But regarding Marc Guehi, he is apparently, reportedly, closing in on a deal with Liverpool. So that would be one to look out for. And again, whether Konate goes or doesn't go, I think Guehi needs to be brought in for me because obviously the lack of the Kwanzaa's going now. We need a centre back regardless. So yeah, I'm going to go over the brand new Luis Diaz news just come out in about an hour ago. Liverpool's interest in renewing Luis Diaz's contract seems to have disappeared. His continuity at Liverpool is not guaranteed. Diaz and his entourage are not happy with Liverpool. That is gone to Pipi Sierra. So Pipi Sierra, Pipi Sierra, I think he's called. Anyone that doesn't know who he is, he's the original journalist that broke Luis Diaz signing for Liverpool. He's a Colombian journalist, so he does know in and around obviously Luis Diaz camp. According to the sources close to Diaz, this is not the first time such a situation has occurred, which has only deepened their frustration. Both the player and his inner circle are struggling to understand the club's approach and recent decisions regarding his future. I don't like this, and this seems to be happening quite a lot at Liverpool, is the breakdown between players and the club and contracts. Trent, when Van Dijk and Salah went into the last few stages, maybe the last month of their contract at best, Luis Diaz now going into his last contract. It just seems like we're trying to and Konate, as we've just spoken about, it seems like we're just letting everyone run the contracts down, just letting them go for free.
I do, and I don't think that. Do you not think it's something to do with like when Julian Moore was in charge and stuff like that? Like these should have been, when George came out, like these should have been sorted then. Do you know what I mean? Like I know obviously we're a season onwards from a lot of these contracts, but I've never known Liverpool not to do like offer contracts before. Like 2 years coming up, 18 months. Yeah, you get a new contract. You know that's usually what happens. I think.
He's got 2 years left now, really. Diaz.
Luis Diaz got 2 years left. I think Liverpool are probably monitoring sort of, is he going to regress in the next season? So I think Diaz will be okay. I mean, with Diaz, it's like he's another one, isn't he? He's not exactly the same as Konate. He's on nothing, and he's like one of the main players. Well, I say nothing. 60 grand a week is ridiculous, but football terms, nothing compared to some players. Like. That was Jadon Sancho on 350k a week at United.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But I don't want us to break I don't want us to break this wage structure what we've had for a while. I think it works well, and I think exceptions like Van Dijk, Salah, I'd say Alisson goes into that. Definitely. There's obviously money there for the contracts because they're going to offer Trent 300k a week. No way is he worth 300k a week, Trent. Not a chance. I don't care. He's a right back. You know what I mean? He's brilliant and stuff. But to go from 150 to 300k a week is ludicrous. But, if that money's there, drop 50k each a week onto Konate and Luis Diaz, you're laughing, aren't you, really?
If you do talk about Luis Diaz specifically in his wages, though, he's got one of the worst wages in the payroll at the moment. I'm sure he's like, 1 second, let me get it up. I've got it. I looked at it earlier. So, Luis Diaz's wages are currently, where is it? There he is. So he's currently on 55 grand a week. He's behind Bradley. He's behind Tsimikas. If you're looking at it like this, he's behind Tsimikas in terms of wages. He's behind Joe Gomez in terms of wages. Nunez and Jota have got more than him. Chiesa's on more than him. Twice more than him. And then you're looking at thinking, maybe Luis Diaz has a point regarding the contract, and are they willing to increase his contract? That's a big situation as well. You can understand where the hostility is sort of coming from a little bit.
Well, when you're one of the main players, yeah, like it's got to be some. I don't get some of the wages at Liverpool. Like, who on earth gives Tsimikas a contract more than Luis Diaz? Because they didn't come in at two dissimilar times. Luis Diaz come in 3 seasons ago, Tsimikas come in 5 seasons ago. So Tsimikas has had a contract extension in that time. I can remember him having one as well, actually. So You know, it's about right. Luis Diaz gets a new contract anyway. I think he's had one though, hasn't he? He must have had one, Luis Diaz.
I thought that, but I don't know. I
Like,
can't remember the last time he had a contract. Let me have a look. So Diaz's contract. It doesn't really say when his contract runs out. Diaz contract. So let me just type it in. I don't know when he got offered a contract. So Diaz signed a 6-year contract in 2021.
6 year.
Yeah, till 2026. So did he sign 2021? Yeah. So he hasn't had a new contract since.
Yeah. So when did Tsimikas? I'm interested when Tsimikas signed a new contract. He's definitely signed a new contract. Tsimikas. There ain't no way Liverpool would have signed him for 6 years.
Yeah, Tsimikas recently signed a new long-term contract with Liverpool, keeping him till 2027. So that was his contract was set to expire in 2025.
Right. So he's obviously got on more wages
than Diaz, yeah. And you're looking at that Diaz and thinking, what? So he's a backup left back, right? And behind him, and behind, Colin Bradley's been a backup right back at the time. Who else did I say is behind?
Um,
So Chiesa, who's just been signed in and don't even want him. So Chiesa was on double what Luis Diaz was on. 75k to no 55 more than double 55k to 150 grand. Chiesa was on
three times
nearly
more.
3 times.
Yeah.
So he must be looking at it and thinking,
Why?
and it doesn't surprise you that his entourage or whatever are getting a bit annoyed at. They say the report says, look, it's happened a few times now.
Yeah.
About the contract situation.
Even you put 100 grand a week, that's nothing, is it? That's absolutely nothing to Liverpool. To the pay structure. Like 100 grand a week, double his wages. I think that keeps him happy, doesn't it?
Well, Trent's wages should pay for some wages, or as it is. And I thought Verts had just come in, but Chiesa's going to be off the books. That's 150k a week they were saving.
Nunez
is going to be off the books. 100k a week we're saving on them.
150 Nunez is on.
I set it up a minute ago. For some reason it's gone off now, but yeah, I can get it back up though.
140-50 Nunez is on. I know he's in quite a big contract.
That's what I'm saying. So their wages are going to be freed up. So there's no excuses really, unless the only thing I can think of now is if they want to keep Diaz and Konate, is they'll wait until these go. So it does free up those wages.
Possibly, yeah. I think if I think Nunez is going to be next out the door. To be honest, I think that's pretty much evident in what we've seen. He's got a skinhead now, so I think that's another telling sign. But I mean, there's obviously the Fabrizio Romano. I seen about signing his locker before. Did you see that? Sign his locker, Nunez.
No. But it was like a goodbye sort of thing.
Yeah.
Why is he trying to be something? I don't know. No, what is he trying to think? What's he going to do? We're going to sell it on eBay for like £6 million. No one's buying that crap.
Lo siento.
No one's buying that.
But yeah, I mean, Nunez is next out the door. So that's 140, 150. I think Chiesa will go as well. It's 300 grand a week out the door. Elliot's on like 40 grand a week, I think. Elliot, he'll probably go. If Tsimikas goes as well, like, I mean, what's he on? 60, 70k a week? I mean, it's going to be a bit more wage freeing up the wages.
That's what I'm saying. We're saving a lot of wages. Obviously, Trent. What was Trent on before? He was on big wages as well. So I'm looking at last year's wage bill. So Trent was on 180 grand a week.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Do you know what Verts is on? I don't know what Verts is on.
200.
Yeah, so that pretty much covers itself in that. But yeah, Nunez on 140, Chiesa's 150 grand. So Tsimikas 75. I'm trying to look at like Elliot's 40 grand. Quanta's 30 grand is gone anyway. Kelleher was on 10 grand a week. So there is some big wage bills going. And I think we've certainly got the money to do it. It's just Konate and Diaz are certainly situations to look at. But again, we don't want to, it's a tricky one because if Diaz goes, Konate goes, as well as Quanta going as well, we're getting one centre-back at least, or 2 centre-backs and a winger. There's too many changes going on.
Yeah.
You can't make too many changes.
I'm fearful of. To be honest, if I'm going to be sensible and say this, I think Diaz and Konate will stay. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think Konate will get his contract. Probably not when we want it, but I think he will sign it. I just believe that he will. You know, he'd be a bit of an it is an idiot. A good thing to say. Be an idiot to leave Liverpool now, wouldn't you? So
it'd be questionable. How about that? Questionable, is that the right word?
Questionable.
Yeah, questionable. And like, what? Why would you leave right now at this time?
And then, yeah, I think you've got. There's just I think them two will stay. I just think, obviously, maybe we're looking a bit towards a certain someone who you're probably going to bring up in a few minutes if Jonathan's in the live.
There's not many people in the live tonight. There's no one in the chat. Well, there's still quite a bit. Actually, the numbers picking up now in the live. So welcome everyone if you are just joining. Make sure you do hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We've just been talking about Guehi. We've been talking about Konate, Luis Diaz situation. Two tough situations with Konate and Diaz specifically because them two potentially be going this summer potentially if worst comes to worst. But yeah, I don't know where all the viewers are tonight. I don't know. Is there another channel out that's on at the same time as us? I don't know. That got in front of us. I don't know. But yeah, it's not really. No one's in the chat tonight, so I don't know where everyone is. I don't know where the usual regular people are. But yeah, if you are watching live, make sure you do get in the chat as well and let us know your thoughts on Diaz and Konate potentially going. On Marc Guehi potentially coming in as well. So another player on the way out who we've just spoken about there is Darwin Nunez. Obviously, 140 grand a week he's on. I don't know why we're paying him that sort of money. But yeah, according to Chris Bascom and Mike McGrath, Mike McGrath, who are quite reliable journalists as well, they're preparing a bid for Darwin Nunez. I don't know who from. They don't say the club, but they're preparing a bid for Darwin Nunez. He would be expected to cost around £70 million for a club to buy him this summer. So the numbers keep changing. So they were talking about the other day about Liverpool wanting £59 million for Nunez, and I thought, reasonable. I'll take 50, 45 at least. But 70 million they're expecting now, according to Chris Bascom.
I still think it'd be 50. I just think
you can't see teams playing that, can you?
No, not unless you're playing Saudi Arabia. But like, there ain't no way that Napoli are going to 70 million on it. They've got the money, Napoli. They've got the money to do it, but they're not going to do it. You know, they've got to remember they've got the money for Kvaratskhelia. They've got the money for Osimhen, which will come in as well. They've won the league. You know, they've obviously got a lot of money at the minute to burn. But yeah, I just don't think that they're going to really look at the.
I'll tell you one thing though, Naj. I'll tell you one thing. If we did get 70 million somehow for Nunez, we've got to go for Isak because that pays for a lot of it.
If you get 50, go for it. Even if you get 50, he's got to go for it. It's balancing the books. Balancing the books.
I mean, this is we have been run to sell to buy, and you know, in the past we've been what the problem is in the past. We've not only we've been sell to buy, we've had 20 million net profit, something like that, sometimes. But we've left our manager short in the season. That's the thing. I don't mind being sold to buy. I don't mind if we make all the Verts money back, as long as our manager, as long as Slot isn't short for the season and he has enough to go again, then that's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
that's how businesses run. Sometimes you've got to make some of your profit back. That's absolutely fine.
Of course, you're not gonna you're not gonna buy things and when you set up a business though, like if you set up any business, you've got to put the money in at the first, and that's what FSG did. And then whatever product you're selling, you've got to sell that product, haven't you? And then if you want to make your business any bigger, you've got to keep selling that product, and then you buy something in, and you've got that's
what invested into it. Or because at the end of the day, the investment that they make into Liverpool now, if they do invest money in, it's only money that Liverpool made themselves. You know, before buying Liverpool, they were millionaires and now billionaires. Yeah, and that's because of our Liverpool owning Liverpool, for example.
Yeah, I mean, you said you can't. You could let's say you're selling pencils. You got to sell. You could sell 1,000 pencils to get a gold watch or something. You can't go buying loads of gold watches before you've not sold all them pencils. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
And that's the way it's working at the minute, you know. And I think now, you know, we can buy all these gold watches or gold, whatever you want to say, because we've got the money to do it, because we've been very shrewd in the past. But unfortunately, we haven't. You know, we spoke about this, that we haven't given the right amount of players back or funds back. Sometimes it felt like not Liverpool, but the ownership have taken the money out rather than putting it back in the club, which I do believe that has happened in the past. Obviously, it's a sports group; they're going to send it all over the sporting network. But I think now we've said it's the opportunities there, isn't it? Pep Guardiola's going, Slot's exciting, brand new manager. Liverpool have got a period where they can absolutely dominate, and what they need to do now is get the tools to do that. You need to buy your gold watches in.
That's it. But yeah, if anyone is joining us, let us know in the chat what your thoughts are on Darwin Nunez. Do you think we can get £70 million for Darwin Nunez? It is a lot, I know. I'd be very, very shocked if we were to get £70 million, if I'm honest, for Darwin Nunez. Don't know what's going on with my screen here. For some reason, it's zooming in, but it is what it is. But yeah, £70 million for Darwin Nunez is a lot. It's a big price tag on him, and I don't want to get to the point where teams are just not willing to buy Nunez because we need to get rid of him. I don't want to be overpricing him out of a move. This is what we need to. We need to take some money off. I thought 59 million the other day. I thought the pay into that, but 70 million. If that's the fee now for Darwin Nunez, I really don't see it happening. But yeah, let's get to someone that Alexander Isak, our dream. He's certainly our dream, and Newcastle fans are panicking. We've seen it all on TikTok. We've seen it all on Twitter. All these Newcastle fans are a little bit panicking. They're in denial, I think, about the links about is Liverpool big enough to get Isak off them. Obviously, they're in a good position, a very powerful position on Newcastle. Champions League this season, Carabao Cup winners. I think we already know you won the Carabao Cup. We were there. But when Liverpool come calling, it is a hard thing to turn down. Isak could be a possibility if Liverpool were in the right frame, if that makes sense. If there was an opportunity, as we see in the past opportunities to signings, if that opportunity becomes available to get Alexander Isak, I think Liverpool are going to be there. So according to Paul Gorst today, outgoings will need to be factored in before Liverpool can plot an audacious move for vaunted Alexander Isak. But it will certainly be a storyline worth keeping tabs on in the coming weeks. There's still so much of the transfer window left to run. And this is the thing, Naj. There is so much transfer window left to run. The main transfer window has only just opened. This could go up until September the 1st itself. But if there is a possibility of Isak, it's worth the wait, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if it is going to happen, it'll happen before the season starts because I think Slot is very keen on having all his players to pre-season. He did really well in pre-season last season and he sort of got an idea of what he was doing. I think that's sort of probably wants to be Isak because I almost think we have to slightly change the system just a tiny bit with Isak just because he likes to come off the left, whereas like what we've had before.
And Verts likes to come from the left as well at times.
Do you know what is weird? I'm saying this like what we've had before. Luis Diaz literally played up front most of the time last season for Liverpool. So would it go back to Slot's original system? I think it probably would, wouldn't it? Of having a striker like Jota really obviously let him down a lot this season in terms of Jota was the guy, wasn't he, up front? Never interested in Nunez. I don't know, maybe slightly tweak it. I don't even think you have to tweak it that much though, because you've got Mohamed Salah playing to the right of you. It is silly. Like you just stand there and you're gonna get the ball and you're gonna get goals. So I think there'll be a slightly system change anyway, just because of Verts coming in. I think the Verts is obviously something Slot's looked at and thought, he's going to be sort of the focal point of the midfield now rather than being Szoboszlai. Obviously, we know Szoboszlai can play all around the place. But having Isak in front, it's almost last season. You'll probably agree with me on this, right? Apart from when Diaz had really good games and really good purple patches, it never felt like we had anything in that position, did it? Do you know what I mean? Like the whole team,
yeah,
solid. Like the defense felt solid, the midfield felt solid.
It's like playing out of strike all season. That's what it felt like. Yeah,
the right and the left felt solid. Had really good. Gakpo and Diaz played really well in different parts of the season, but Salah was insane all season. But then you got to up front where the magic happens, where it's meant to be the goal scorer, and it was just like, you didn't know what he was going to get. Like it was very weird, and I think bringing a player in who's going to go into that position just makes the whole team tick, doesn't it?
I think Salah alone saved the forward line last season.
100%.
Because if Salah was like the Salah from the season before, I'm not saying it was poor, it just last season went to a different level, like Ballon d'Or worthy level. If Salah wasn't like that, I don't think we win the league. Because that forward line was not scoring enough and it wasn't adding enough. Gakpo did his bits, Diaz did his bits, but we didn't have a striker to get those goals. And it was Salah. It was literally Salah, and this is why Salah is on in the conversation with Ballon d'Or. This is why Salah is, for us, the player of the season, because without him last season stepping it up to another level, we don't score as many goals. We're just nowhere near as many goals because we don't have a player in that forward position that's done it. Jota wasn't there to pick up the pieces. Nunez was doing fuck all. Diaz, when he was up front, he had 2 games maybe good up front. By Leverkusen and something else.
He had a couple of games. He was not bad. He wasn't. He's not like a focal point, is he? Like he wasn't like.
He's just not a striker. That's it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's just not a striker.
Like, I mean, it's so hard to compare this to Firmino because Firmino was just brilliant. But people sort of forget that Firmino didn't really score a lot of goals sometimes. Like, I think he got one season where he got over 10 goals in the Prem. But however, how many did he create? How many did he link the team up? How much of a focal point was Firmino? Because you could just give him the ball, make a run, and they had nothing like that last season.
Yeah.
Diaz did do that. Diaz did do that to a degree. Nowhere near levels of Firmino, but I'm just envisaging. I can't speak. Envisaging. I can't say it. What did I say? Right. Hit the ball to Isak, and the ball goes to Isak. He takes a touch, holds it up, and then you can play other players. And like that is what we've been missing all season. And we scored the most goals in the league, which is crazy to say. We scored the most goals in the league.
Yeah.
Seeing there was room for improvement, I think. Like 80 was it 80 odd goals we scored this season?
I think what helped as well last week was a bit more goals from the midfield area, from Lacamaka and Szoboszlai as well, because we haven't really had goals from midfield since Coutinho. Not really. When you had Edison, Wijnaldum, and Milner and Fabinho. Fabinho's got a couple normally bangers. Wijnaldum, we didn't use Wijnaldum how Wijnaldum was originally used. He was an attacking midfielder, could play right and left wing as well. We just basically outran teams, and our goal scorers were mainly, it was all focused around Mane Salah, hence why Firmino was the main one to create that. Firmino's ability to come back and create space with Mane and Salah, they're the focal point. Now, this season, going into the season when Florian Wirtz comes in, we've got goals from everywhere.
Yeah.
Even from the fullbacks.
Yeah.
We've got goals from everywhere. So I don't think we're going to struggle on goals, but having a focal point is so crucial into that, because even though we've got goals coming from everywhere this season, not having a striker, we're expecting Salah to have that season again.
Yeah, I agree. See, another good thing as well, like about having a focal point, like we're gonna have Wirtz, who's the midfield focal point. That gives a team like against a good attacking mid, like the level of Wirtz, that takes 2 players out of the game, possibly even 3. As you see, your 2 centre backs don't have a frigging clue to mark. Or another centre mid's going to track him. That opens up more space down the wings. Then you've got Salah, who's another focal point. Then you've got whoever we have up front, which I hope it's Isak, hope it's Alvarez, someone like that. That's another player that's taken away. It makes the
headache. Absolute headache. Yeah.
Who the hell?
Just imagine though, the centre backs, right? Imagine the centre backs thinking, the left back's thinking Salah anyway, but centre backs are thinking, Salah's going to come inside. We're going to have to have a problem. Wirtz come inside. Wirtz is there now. We need to make sure that our DM's on him or someone's stopping him, because as soon as he goes for the DM, we've got to deal with that. But then imagine Isak there as well. And it's like, what do we actually do here? What do we actually do here? Do we mark Isak? Do we come out and shut Wirtz down? Do we? push across to ensure Salah's got 2-on-1. What do we do here? Because we're troubled. But if it's like for example, like a Diaz there or a Gakpo there, it's not the same headache.
Yeah.
As an Isak.
Yeah. Because like I think I've spoken about it so many times. I sound like an absolute fanboy of this, but Isak terrorizes defenders. Like they don't want to go near him. Like Saliba and Gabriel look like the Chuckle Brothers. They were like this.
It picks up spaces. It picks up spaces you don't see. I mean, just go look at how we played against Liverpool. Carabao Cup final, the goal he scored. Our defense didn't know where he was. Didn't know where he was. That's what strikers do.
Yeah, he's got a very good ability of like what Isak does, and a lot of strikers sit on the weakest man. They always do it. Like Haaland will not go anywhere near Van Dijk. He'll sit on Konate, and he never wins that battle either. Really, does he? He doesn't win any battles.
No,
really.
not really. No.
But he goes because he doesn't want to go near Van Dijk because he gets nothing out of him, and then so that's what they do. I'll go and sit on that striker. What Isak does, and this is why I think he's so elite. He doesn't sit on anyone. He just literally goes like wherever he can manipulate a space to like got off. He'll go to that place, and that's why he's elite. Like Salah does exactly the same thing on the wing. Like some people go, "Oh, Salah go like as wide as possible," or like he'll stand like next to the centre back, or in between the centre back and the full back, between the right wing and the full back, the left back and the left wing. Like he'll stand in them places or go into them spaces because it's a nightmare to defend him. Like,
Give me a second. I've realised something here now. I've realised something. Like, guys, if you are watching live, make sure you can comment now. See if you can comment now. I just realised something. I've just gone onto the YouTube channel on the phone and thinking, why is no one commenting tonight? There's people watching it. Why is no one commenting? Is there a reason why no one's commenting? I've gone onto the YouTube and it says made for kids. Because there's a thing that you can click here. Yes, made for kids, or no, not made for kids. So I've just unclicked it now to not made for kids. I don't know why it's on that. Usually, sometimes it lets me change it, but it's not letting me change it. But yeah, so if you can comment tonight, now you can comment, hopefully. Thanks for watching us, though, without having to comment. But see if you can comment now, though. If you are in the chat, let me know if you can comment now. I do apologise for that. Normally, I change it, and it's changed quite easily, quickly. But for some reason, it's just not changed tonight. But yeah, if you are watching live now, make sure you can comment. Let me know in the chat. I'll see if we can I'll reload that and see if it does come on. I do apologise for that massively. So it is my fault. I wasn't doing that. Yeah, it should be able to comment now. But
just
for some reason it's not saying live now on YouTube. Let's see what happens. But we are live now again, so let's see. Have a look. So yeah, you can actually comment now. I think I'm not certain, but let me know in the chat if you can comment. I do apologise for that.
Don't comment.
I didn't change it up. That's what I'm saying. I must have not changed it. That's all. Hopefully, you should be able to do it now.
New comment.
Let's have a look. I'll have a try. I don't know if I can comment anyway. Let me know in the chat though. If you're live, let me know in the chat if you can comment now. Try it, see if it works. It doesn't say now. One sec. If I go onto my channel live, it says live, but it don't. I can't click on it. But it don't say. It still says live there. That's odd. That's really odd. YouTube. Who likes YouTube? But yeah, it shouldn't really do that. It should automatically put for no for kids because I always put no anyway. So that's how you have to put it up. But yeah, let me know in the chat if you can comment. I do apologise for that for tonight. But I'm glad that you've all watched anyway. If you have been watching us, make sure you do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Before we do go though, Naj, I want to just have a quick brief speak about Andy Robertson and his future. Obviously, MIlos Kerkez was signed earlier on, officially a Liverpool player now. We spoke about that earlier. We did a live stream on that. Andy Robertson to Atletico Madrid is now discarded. He is no longer an option. There we go. Tony has come in with hello. Yes, hello, chat. Finally. It was my fault. There was no chat. I thought, why is no one interacting with us? Or do we smell or something? Because like how we normally get a huge chat in and a huge call chat of people that come in and talk all the time. And I thought, it's very odd that no one's talking in that chat. Very, very odd. Go to YouTube and it says made for kids. It isn't made for kids. This is certainly not made for kids. What's that? Sorry.
Wearing all stream.
It's just I don't understand. I don't understand why it's done that. Sometimes you got to click it. Usually, it doesn't click either. You've got to. The first thing you got to do is make sure you put that. Is click one of those, and it's automatically put it onto that. So I do apologize for that, chat. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Nunez in the chat. Let me know your thoughts on Marc Guehi, Alexander Isak, and obviously Luis Diaz as well. Luis Diaz's future is in the air right now. According to reports about Luis Diaz, his entourage are not happy with Liverpool Football Club at the moment. But yeah, Andy Robertson. So Atletico Madrid have bought a new left back. They have bought a new left back in today. Goes by the name of Matteo Ruggeri of Atalanta. So.
Actually,
He was very good in the Europa League. Andy Robertson to Atletico Madrid has now been discarded. He is no longer an option for Atletico Madrid.
Yeah,
big news, Naj. Big news. Is that probably the only way out for Robbo? Do you think he stays now?
Yeah, I do think he stays. I didn't think he maybe go anyway. I know he says he's going to take some time to decide what he wants to do, etc. But I think he's got it good at Liverpool, and next season he gets to play as backup in a way. He doesn't really have to be a backup. He will be majority in the Premier League, but I've said this: if you're an opposition manager and you're going like that and looking to Liverpool bench, or they're bringing Andy Robertson on for the last 20 minutes, you're just going to be like, you know what I mean? Because you're going to get the unbelievable amount of effort from Andy Robertson. Like a 20-minute Robertson is better than a 20-minute Tsimikas. We know that. And I do think as well, but with all the cup competitions, all the Champions League, all the Carabao, the FA Cup, there's so many games for Robertson to play. And, we're on 60 odd games a season now, aren't we? Like, he's split that right down the middle, 30 odd games each. That's sound. I think that's great. I think that's great to have two high quality left backs, and then you're going to get the best out of both worlds, aren't you? You're going to get a rest for Kerkez, you're going to get a rest for Robertson as well. So it just, for the team, for the squad, it's a no-brainer. Keep him there and keep him until his contract expires. If I just think Kerkez learning off him as well. Look at how well Kerkez spoke about him today.
Yep.
That is something he looks up to him. Like, I'm coming in to take your position, sort of thing. But he'll help me because he looks up to him, and I just think it's just a no-brainer just to keep him. I would sell Tsimikas though, but I think you probably get more.
We can't have free left backs and then a youngster coming through anyway. But yeah, I think it's perfect to keep Andy Robertson. If we can keep Andy Robertson somehow, him and Kerkez as a duo would be fantastic. It'd be also brilliant as well for Kerkez to learn off him and Robbo. And again, Robbo's a leader as well. We need to keep the leaders around in the dressing room. But yeah, guys, in the chat, you can actually chat now. You can actually get in the chat. So I'm going to stay on a little bit longer for that because my mistake. I did put the wrong thing to not allow us to chat in the. I do absolutely love you guys being in the chat and getting your thoughts involved as well. So yeah, it seems like more people are coming in now. They can enter chat. Also reduces the risk of injury, says Tony. Yeah, absolutely. And again, it also maybe get the best out of Robertson now, not being the main guy. That's no offense to Robertson, but legs can't be. I'm in my mid-30s, so I know legs catch up with you, but it's so important to keep Robertson as fit as you can. And again, that might get the best out of Robertson now because this season he has dropped off massively and he has relied on his legs a lot under the Klopp era.
Yeah.
Keeping those legs fresh as we can will let him get better in the games, in the minutes that does play.
Yeah. It's just the bonus of having him just for them games, like I say, in big Champions League games, fit Andy Robertson, we can give you 90 minutes of just pure running, not having to worry about the next game, and it just makes a hell of a lot of sense. He's still a good player. Like I did say this last season, I just said, the start of the season he looks so leggy, he looks so poor by his standards. He looked better towards the end of the season, but I think just giving him that rest in total as well. And I think another thing as well with Robertson is, if he does go to another club, he's running that risk that he might actually go down the pecking order there, and that doesn't like bode well for his Scotland career and stuff like that. Obviously, he's not far off getting. I think he's nearly. He's just got 100 caps, hasn't he, Robertson? I think he has just hit it. He's not far off hitting 100, or he's close to 100, or something like that. But obviously, he wants to be very well. He wants to get as many caps as possible. So I think him staying at Liverpool and playing a 50-50 role with Kerkez, which I think it will be, there's more chance of him staying within the Scotland setup, fresh, fresh, ready to go for playing for Scotland as well. I think all of it makes more sense, and as well, if he did go to Atletico, he'd been moving country, different culture, all that sort of thing you got to take into account. He's never moved outside of England, Robertson. He's literally been Scotland and England, and that's it. And he's not even moved that far down south. You think about it, has he? He's not gone past the northwest.
He just likes the north. Well, to be honest, he didn't want to go any further than the north. The north's the best anyway. So
yeah. And I think he's got a good. What I'm trying to say, he's just got a good amount to give, and we appreciate that he's going to be good for us as well, because he's. Everyone loves him, I think, as well. Which he obviously, he's got a lot to give, and I like him. And I think with Kerkez, it'd be real good depth in that side. I really do, real good depth.
We definitely need the depth, and I think this season, we've said it before, Arne Slot's looking for numerous players in numerous positions to give a different way of playing. I think that's what we're looking at, different tactics. You see how tactical Slot is. You don't want similar players in the same positions. Obviously, Gakpo and Diaz are quite different, which is good. But that's if Diaz stays. And that's why I think there were talks of Malik Fofana being looked at. And I think that's probably a big chance now of happening. If Diaz does go, keep your eyes on Malik Fofana, because Leon being relegated, who can get him probably for cheaper, is quite a similar profile to Diaz, where he likes to take players on much more direct. Goes more down the wing than Diaz, more down the byline than Diaz does. Diaz don't usually go all the way, a bit like a Robbo would and a Mane would. So it would be nice to keep an eye on Malik Fofana regarding that. But again, right back, you got two different playing styles at right back, left back. I'd say two different playing styles now. If it were Prime Robbo, it'd be similar. But Prime Robbo hasn't got the legs anymore. So it's two different playing styles, technically. Again, in midfield, hopefully we've got maybe Patetic coming in. It's a different player to Gravenberch. Florian Wirtz, obviously, can play different roles in that 10 position. It's all about winning games no matter what, and a different tactics. You need to play the teams differently. And this is why Arne Slot set up as 2 10s against Man City. It's a different way of playing, but it worked, because what we needed in that game was legs. Yeah. And they couldn't handle how how much we were in the faces against Man City, and they couldn't control the game how they wanted to control the game.
No.
They controlled the ball, but they didn't control the game. It's a different thing. Yeah. Controlling the game is dictating what happens with the ball. Yeah. Man City couldn't do that, because we just had legs all over the pitch to block anything that they wanted to do out. If Konate doesn't sign a new deal, says Tony here, would you rather sell him in the summer rather than leave him on free next year? It's a tricky one, isn't it, Tony? There's many different opinions on Konate. Why would you sell him? Why would you sell him when we can't get a better centre back than that out there? But again, it's saying why would you sell him? But why would you want player power to be? Go back to Trent. Let me ask you a question, guys, in the chat. Would you have sold, knowing Trent as running his contract down, knowing this was a possibility? Would you want him to sell him a year ago? The answer to that is yes.
I would, yeah.
You would not have kept him for another year. So why is it different for Konate? If he's going to go, if he's happy to run his contract down, you've got to sell him. And I don't want to sell him, because I absolutely love Konate. And my ideal situation right now is giving Konate 180 grand a week, and you're staying. That is my ideal situation. But we can't let players run the contracts down and go for free. Not to Real Madrid anymore. They can piss off. They ain't getting any more players for free off us. And it's like the same situation Palace are in. I've seen Palace fans saying, we'll have to just sell Guehi. We can't let him go for free. We can't keep letting that happen, because it's just going to happen over and over and over again. Players running the contracts down, going for free. It's the same with Diaz. Diaz is going to go in 2 years. We're going to have to sell him either this year or next year. If we don't sign him down, it's up to us now. If we want to sign him down, we sign him down. If we don't, then you've got to let him go and look at the next big thing.
Yeah.
We can't go into the season with a player that don't want to be here. And if Konate is still here and he's running his contract down, Guehi's number one. It's as simple as that. We need players that want to be here for the long run. They want to be here and get a gel with the team, create some memories with the team. We don't want players that are saying, "Oh, I'm going next season anyway." Because regardless of I'm not saying Konate is not a professional. So I think he is, and it's not even Konate in general here. I'm talking about players in general. If they're going for next season for free, their heart's not fully in it.
Yeah.
Prime example: a Scouser, number 66. His heart has not been in it this season. It's been clear to see.
Not at all.
Would you want that again with Konate? I'm not saying Konate will do that, but you're risking the chance of it happening. So those that are saying, "Oh, why would you sell Konate?" Just watch Trent back again. And if you don't sell Konate, then Guehi has. If Guehi does come in, that is the case. Guehi has to be number one alongside Van Dijk because Guehi's going to be here for the next 2, 3, 4 seasons at least. So he's got to be number one. It's just a bit like when we're saying, "Oh, play Bradley now." At the end of the season, they say, "Oh, play Bradley. If he's gone, play Bradley now. We don't care about him now. He's gone." We've got to be like that. We've got to be like that. If we want to take control of the situations at this club and take control of contract situations, we've got to be like that. We've got to say, "No, you're not staying here for free and running your contract down. And if you are, you're not playing." We've got to do it. That's exactly what we should have done with Trent. If there were nothing if we knew last season that Trent was going for free and he's running his contract down, you're not playing. Bradley's number one.
Yeah.
You can play a couple of minutes here and there. The same, I'm not saying it hits Konate. This is the situation we're talking about right now with Konate. If Konate is doing that, and if he does do that, I don't think he will. He doesn't seem the kind of person to do that. But Trent didn't seem like the kind of person to do that. But you know what I'm saying? So if Konate does do that, then Guehi coming in, he's got to be number one. Simple as that. If we get Guehi, if Konate don't sign, I sell him this summer, then get a Hater as a young centre back. I mean, the Hater's a brilliant option. He really is, and he can play left back as well, but it's not in that. He just plays left sided, so it's competition for Van Dijk as well. But if Konate goes though, we've got to bring in. It's gonna be hard, isn't it? It's gonna be hard because we ain't got Quanston behind him now. It's just Gomez now. Hopefully Gomez stays fit. But at least Gomez can play literally across the back four, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant. But yeah, I hope Konate signs. I hope not only Konate signs, I hope we do get Marc Guehi as well. Because that would be brilliant competition for Konate. And both of them kept on their toes. And that's exactly what we want, competition in this team if we want to go again and win that title. But yeah, Robertson staying as well potentially because Atletico Madrid now bought a left back. Gakpo, there's actually news on Gakpo as well now. There's report again from Bayern Munich coming in potentially for Gakpo. If Nico Williams and who else was it they're going for now? They're going for 2 players, weren't they? They're Nico Williams and someone else. Gittins, Bio Gittins for Dortmund. Bio Gittins, sorry, yeah. So him or Williams, if they don't go to Bayern Munich, they are looking at Cody Gakpo. No chance of it. Cody Gakpo ain't going anywhere anytime soon.
I've read that they've got no money, to be honest, Bayern. I've seen reports that they've got no money. Like, they're not made, in terms of, like, they've not made money back that, because they always win the league every year, so they always guarantee that money. Apparently, like, it's not showing up now in the finances. But I don't know how true that is. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just think Gakpo, honestly, will not be going to Bayern Munich. I can honestly say that more than anything, he will not be going. I'll dye my hair pink if he goes to Bayern Munich. There you go. That's how much I think.
That's on record now, by the way. That's on record. It's not going to happen. And even if he was linked to it, I don't think he'd want to go anyway. Why would he go when all his Dutch mates are here anyway? You know what I'm saying? Frimpong just joined. You got Gravenberch, Van Dijk, and Slot as well.
Yeah,
he's building. He's got a team here full of his mates, his international teammates as well. Like, why would he want to go to Bayern Munich? There's no reason for him to do that. What are your opinions on Lukeba? Said Tony as well. Lukeba, very, very good centre back, Very good centre back, young, raw. Probably needs maybe another season or two. But if worst comes to worst and Konate does go, then I would be looking at him this summer. I'll be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
I would, because things happening, like a player going, for example, Konate, we've got to move things forward. Yes, if we look at Lekeba in maybe 2 years' time, obviously Van Dijk's got 2 more years left. If we're looking at Lekeba as like a potential replacement for Van Dijk at some point, we've got to bring that forward if Konate goes. We've got to. Because otherwise we don't have the centre-backs there. And we're relying on what Guehi and Van Dijk for the season. And then Gomez behind them both. That's what we're relying on. And that's dangerous, very, very dangerous, because all it takes is one injury to Gomez, and we've got no cover at all centre-back.
Playing Gravenberg will be playing there.
And that's what I'm saying. Endo better get his, what is it, back on? What are they playing? Is it Sondiko they play at fucking centre back? I'm trying to think of the centre back boots, miters.
Oh yeah,
miters. Endo better get his miters out. He's playing centre back this season.
Huma King's out.
I've never played centre back, so I've played full back, but I've never played centre back, so I don't really usually buy those sort of boots. I've always bought Nikes. I've always bought Nikes in terms of wing. I usually play wing and strikers. I've always bought like Vipers or something like that. Total 90s back in the day. But obviously being in midfield, I sort of went to Adidas, but they rubbed my feet, so I went back to Nike again. I got some Preds, but they rubbed my feet. I couldn't play with. And when you've got the rubby feet like that, you can't play properly.
They're not good. I've the same with them. I don't like them. They just burn your feet. You come off and you got more.
What's Adidas?
Yeah, Diaz. Don't like them.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why, but I've always like, give me some Preds. Give me some. I'm playing midfield. I'm playing Preds. But yeah, I've gone back to Nike because I play like a 10 position now anyway, don't I? So it sort of suits that anyway. It's not like a centre midfielder, so it is what it is. But yeah, Lekeba, mate, Tony, went off a tangent there. Lekeba is probably a good centre back to look at. And again, if Konate does go, he's probably, I'd say, move forward. I'd say one to look at this summer potentially. Hi, thoughts on Kerkez getting more assists than Robbo next season? He's got a good chance, you know, and especially if we get an Alexander Isak, and that just boosts everyone's assists up. Florian Wirtz be licking his lips.
Robertson got 1 assist this season, so.
Ooh, I'd love to see. I want that competition back, you know, that Trent Robbo competition that they had together. That was good because what that did, they was like, yes, I am going to go get some assists here. I'm going to go get some goals. And I love that competition. I love everyone saying, like, you do better than me, you do better than me. That's what gets the best out of players. And if we can get that back with Kerkez and maybe Frimpong.
Yeah, definitely.
Salah versus Wirtz, how many assists he can get each. I mean, that's what's pushed Salah this season.
Yeah. He just pushed himself, doesn't he? He's his own competition.
But just that wanting to get these assists, get these goals. I think it sort of spoiled Salah in the last maybe like 5 or 6 games because he sort of concentrated fully on assists. There were times where he was passing the ball, didn't need to pass the ball. And I think he was looking for assists that he didn't need to try looking for because he wanted that assist record. He's already broken like a goal record before. I think he was fully focused on that assists. When there's like a Wirtz and a Frimpong and a Kerkez on the team now, I don't think Salah looks at assists as much this season. I think he's got his eye for goals. I think he's going for goal records. He wants to probably get now, Salah, knowing Salah how competitive he is, he's probably looking at like the top goal scorers of all time. We did it, didn't we? We did that time. We looked at top goal scorers. He's probably looking at number 2. He's not going to catch Alan Shearer.
No.
That'd have to be 2 like out of this world, like 40 goals a season in the league. But I think he's going to be looking at a chart.
Yeah, I think he said 3rd, didn't he? You could get to definitely 3rd. It was what 30 goals more.
I think it was realistic to get the 2nd, wasn't it? I should be realistic to get 2nd, a bit above Harry Kane, I think it was.
Yeah.
But she was like 80 goals off or something.
Yeah.
It's the same with assists. It's like, I think like 70 assists off like Giggs is top in there, something like that. So it's about 70 assists. He's not going to get 70 assists in 2 seasons.
It's 20 years in the Prem. So
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's just ridiculous. Tony said, if Isak isn't a realistic opportunity, who would you go for as a number 9? We've had this conversation many times, Tony, actually. Naj will tell you Alvarez is probably number 2 behind Isak. Osimhen's a shout. I like Gyökeres. I know Naj, I don't know if Naj and Reece like Gyökeres. I do like Gyökeres. I don't think we need... I think Gyökeres would work now. We've got Wirtz. If we didn't have Wirtz, I don't think Gyökeres works. We need someone that can link up play. I just think right now we've got so much ball playing ability in Wirtz and Salah specifically. I just think we need a bagsman. But Isak is perfect because he not only does link up play as a bagsman, he's a sheer gunman.
Definitely.
So yeah, I would take a Gyökeres. Alvarez is your number 2, though, isn't it, behind Isak?
Oh yeah, I think yeah. I mean, Gyökeres maybe be like 4th for me. I'd probably I mean, Osimhen would be, I would say.
Not Ekitike, no?
No. I haven't got a list long enough what he could be on.
All right, then. Well, let me ask you a question, actually, now. I was thinking about that. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Honest answer. You might take a while to think about it. You're either keeping Nunez or Ekitike is going up front. That's your ultimatum.
Ekitike.
Thank you, everyone, for streaming tonight. Thank you, everyone, for watching tonight. Go on, mate. Ekitike, yeah?
Yeah. Run the race with Nunez. Run the race with him. Yeah.
And that says a lot because Naj does not want Ekitike.
No, I really don't want him. I don't think he's good enough. I actually think Nunez is probably better than Ekitike. I'm not gonna lie to you. I probably think he is. I just think that Nunez doesn't work at Liverpool, so you'd have to try something new. But yeah, it'd have to be Ekitike. I'd honestly probably rather sign, and this is no disrespect to them, Chris Wood than Ekitike. I genuinely would. I just think he's a better player. And that's no disrespect.
Better finisher, yeah. Better finisher.
Yeah, he's 33, Chris Wood, and that's the. Yeah, I'd rather do that, and that's no disrespect to Chris Wood. He's a great player, he's a great finisher, but like, I'm not gonna go. You're not gonna spend 90 on someone who's had half a good season. Not for me. Not for me.
I'm saying it. All right, lads. Newcastle want João Pedro, Elanga, Simmons, and Nusa. They're spending the Isak money, mate. They're spending the Isak money there. So yeah, fair play to them. If they're already planning on spending that Isak money, go for it. As long as Isak comes to us. If Diaz wants out, replace him with Rodrigo, Osimhen, or Gyökeres as strikers, Isak had anyway, and impossible to get Rodrigo also. If we were the chance, right, of Diaz going right and we got a Rodrigo and an Isak, I need to know who watched our stream when we did that dream signing. Because I said all 3 dream signings at the point, because we were talking about Salah going potentially, because it was before Salah, it was before Salah signed the contract. It was before Van Dijk signed his contract. So I said, if Salah goes, then we have to get Rodrigo because of that just sheer world-class ability that we needed to replace. But my 3 signings was at the time Rodrigo, Wirtz, and Isak.
Yeah.
But obviously Rodrigo, and I took that out as a dream signing because when I knew Salah was staying. As soon as Salah was staying, it'd probably be changed to, if I'm honest, dream signing before that. It might have changed like Stiller or something like that. I still think we need a DM personally.
Yeah.
If Diaz wants out, then we've got to look at someone on that left-hand side, or we look at a striker. That could happen, you know.
Yeah.
One thing that could happen is, obviously, Malik Fofana could be going for cheap, but if Diaz does go, if we get a strike win, it could be Rio that steps up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd rather Rio step up, to be honest. I think just going buying players for the sake of it, I don't think it's really worth it. Yeah, just keep Rio. I've got to go in a couple of minutes.
I'm going to go off anyway. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching anyway. Hope you have all had a great night. I hope you've had a great day because MIlos Kerkez is now officially a Liverpool player. But we are not done there, Liverpool fans. We are not done there. Alexander Isak is on the cards potentially. Marc Guehi is certainly on the cards. According to report today, that is closing in on a deal for Marc Guehi. But keep an eye on Ibrahima Konate's future and Luis Diaz specifically, because those 2 are looking quite worrying now in terms of are they going to stay and they're not going to stay. So yeah, keep an eye on those. We'll let you know if anything happens regarding those, and anything solid or official, we will let you know ASAP. We are live every single night at 7 o'clock. I do apologize tonight, guys, for the lack of chat because my fault. I didn't change certain setting on the YouTube video. But yeah, thank you for watching tonight, guys. Hope you have a great day tonight, a great night, and I'll speak to you all